T-Reaper, man. This is New Legal T-Reaper.
What's going on, everybody?
What's good, fam? DIRREC Gaming in effect. Gonna get some talking today, man. How you living, man?
I am living in a space between paradise and hell at the moment. But yeah. I am very grateful for all my new following, everybody who has joined my IG, platform. I appreciate
Let's begin by
so
shooting
much,
targets.
even though I'm practically,
seems easy enough.
living on nothing. But, it's always fun.
Well, that's cool, man. So everything's going good over there?
Besides an empty wallet, yeah. Being on medical leave. I'm meditating about 5 to 6 times a day.
Sometimes it takes that, man.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm starting to understand that now.
Right, sometimes it takes that, man.
The next targets have shields. First, use the pulse laser to deplete their shields.
The last time I actually had
when
to
the
do
shields
this,
are down,
I think it was like a
use the
decade
Gatling
ago,
gun
actually.
to inflict
Last time I
greater
had to
hull
do this
damage.
myself. But last
Okay.
time it didn't take very long because of other situations. But I'm having fun. I have I have my old school buddies visiting me for a while they keep me company while I recover.
Okay. Yo, it's cool to have Joker 420 up in the building, man. Even though he's not gonna be saying much, but we can hear him. He's in the party chilling with us, man. So it's good to have him too, man. Just sticking around chilling with us. But we got some topics we're gonna bring up today, man, and I think it's interesting topics. T-Reaper, man. Here's the microphone, brother. And take it away, man.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for the introduction, Legal. I appreciate it. So, today we're going to talk about a couple different things that I've been noticing as I've basically just been watching, not really saying much. I appreciate all the Twitter threads, though, because, I always need something
Use
to look
missiles
at.
on the next targets.
No matter how absurd
Set a target
everybody
lock
writes.
before shooting,
But
so the missiles can home in.
we have a big conundrum from everything from now we have that wonderful oh, the multiplayer's too sweaty to let's blame parents for letting their kids game for 24/7 at a computer. Did everybody know that is actually deadly? Did everybody know that you can actually die from doing that? That's why consoles were also invented.
Right.
Because the PC was too deadly.
Yeah, talk to him. Teach
But
him.
yeah. But the kicker is like I feel bad for that child's family and whatnot because they didn't know that. But like
It appears as
at
if
the
you're
age of
ready for the
21, I
next
stayed up
stage.
for 7 days straight.
I have created a
on
jump
14
target.
Red Bulls, and
Aim
I
towards
also
it
almost
and hold
died.
steady to
And that
leave
was
the
on a
orbit.
360
After
on
each
the original
transit,
Black
your
Ops
jump
and Halo
drive
Reach.
requires
So,
a cooling down
like,
phase.
it is possible.
As soon as it is ready for another jump, I will create one.
The reason I am the way I am now. You stay up for 7 days straight. You better have a really good immune system because you're gonna be in a coma or sleeping on a bed for almost 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But I
didn't know you did that.
Parents, yeah, I did. It's insane, and that's also that's kind of why I have a 12 by 12 hour access in my body now, because it basically screwed up my my immune system, and I was only 21 when I did it as well. And I'm almost 30 now, so it's almost been a 10-year recovery from getting my sleep cycle. It's never going to be perfect again because what I did basically, impaired my my body function, but at the same time, it was rather deadly, and I pretty much know not to ever do that again. But it was it was an awesome thing because a lot of people don't understand you have to no one legitly sits in front of a television for 7 days straight. You get up, you legitimately go eat, you legitimately go do stuff. Yeah, but the television is always on. You can always return to the game, or you can always resume match. But at the same time, parents need to be aware that if you're because a lot of kids when they're younger, they drink soda or they stay awake all night through any means necessary.
As you can see from your fuel gauge,
don't know about
a substantial amount was consumed during
your body
transit.
needs to build to the
You
point
should
where it
aim
is
to
energy
refill the
drink
jump
efficient.
drive completely.
So if you just give
There is a
a
mineable
17-year-old who's never
asteroid
had a
nearby.
soda in their life
Shoot at it
or
to
any
extract
type of
fuel.
intense caffeine, and you do that to the child, that's exactly what happens. They die.
Right.
But for those who are drink 6 to 7 coffees a day or need espresso to go to work, it's not that big of a deal because the bodies can handle it. But children, they're meant to their brains are to be fully functional before they attempt to do that.
Right.
And I find it kind of because in the 90s we we glossed over this because more and more people were joining gaming, and it was a small fraction of an issue. But in Korea they have that problem all the time. You see that in the news every single day. they go to the game arcades, and every so often, you know, one of the people just fall flat dead because they played, you know, either StarCraft or League of Legends for, you know, 40 to 60, you know, hours straight.
Remaining well provisioned is key to
But
survival
that's because
in
you're
the
sitting
cluster.
down.
Before
as well.
leaving the
You're
orbit,
sitting at a,
it
you
is
know,
recommended
computer,
you explore
you have,
the
you know,
location
your
for
body at the
resources.
keyboard, or yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And then, you know, you know, on top of that, you have crossplay, you know, being, you know, integrated into multiple different games now. You know, Sony and Microsoft are picking up speed, but at the same time, you know, you have the community divided over, you know, oh, I don't want to have multiplayer that way, and I'm like, well, that's kind of what single player was invented for to begin with.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
And you know, and we have come a long way. I'm not gonna lie. Like I found it funny. I'm like, I saw one of my friends playing the new Sega, you know, old
I have
school,
located
you know,
a container
Sega
at
Disney
some
games
distance.
on, you know, on my dashboard while I was walking around. And I'm like, I remember playing that when I was in elementary school.
Ah, resources.
And a weapon.
That's
I
I
fine.
know
don't
where to
have a
go.
free slot to install it. Decide for
I'm like,
yourself
yeah,
whether you
yeah.
want to equip
Because,
or
like, I was
salvage
telling
it.
the story to a friend of mine, and I was like, I went to this elementary school when I was younger, and sometimes we would go outside for gym class, and then sometimes we could play in our arcade that they had in the school. And in that school, there was everything from the Super Nintendo all the way up to the PS1.
That's crazy.
So, like, so, you know, my elementary, you know, gym class legitimately was playing, you know, the OG console system every single day at school.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, come 1998, 1997, you had, you know, modern internet being invented for gaming, and then it took a couple, you know, 5 to 6 years after that for it to join consoles. But at the same time, you know, it was always brain
There
versus
is an
brain. It
outlaw
wasn't
ship
brain versus
incoming.
AI.
I would
Hence why
advise
PvP
activating
was
your
such a
weapon
big,
overdrive in order
pull
to
at
prepare
first
for the
because, you know,
encounter.
everybody wanted to talk to everybody across the world on games. And then, you know, when you had online gaming introduced, you know, not only could you have friends in your own backyard, but you could have it, you know, in Indonesia to Australia to Europe, so on and so forth, you know, and you could be connected to more and more people on the planet.
Right.
But then, you know, the issue is like, you know, people across the pond have better, you know, have different, you know, reaction time than you, and with
Right.
latency and so on and so forth. And then I was also making this point on Facebook a little while ago that, you know, they asked, should we get the, you know, the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X, you know, if we can't get the Scarlet next year? And I'm like, well, just keep in mind that the next generations all have 120 FPS.
Resources
And
are
they're
essential
like,
for crafting and
you know,
upgrading
and
your
then he made the
equipment.
point. He's like,
It
well,
appears,
does
however,
the
that
Xbox
we have
One S
exhausted our
do
possibilities
60? And
here.
because I've seen
I
people on
suggest
PCs
advancing
play with
to the
me, and it
next
hasn't
location.
affected my KD at all. And I find that kind of humorous because what a lot of, you know, core game, you know, casual gamers don't understand is
Right.
FPS doesn't mean crap if you can do it, but if you're not fast enough, you can't do it. So there
Right.
is a difference because FPS is frames per second. So, you know,
That's
the
right.
faster the screen refreshes, the you're the first one to see that person on
Yeah,
the
that's the
actual
whole
map.
point of the refresh.
Yeah, you know, so
Right.
that's the whole
Yeah,
point of
talk
the
to
refresh,
'em,
people.
yeah.
So if I have a 120 FPS people and you have 60
You're
or
gonna-
30,
you're gonna
my
see me
screen
t-
refresh. My
double,
screen
double,
Yeah, I'm gonna
right.
see you. I'm gonna see
And
see
the
you
du-
sooner. So I'm gonna
Right.
shoot you faster. I'm gonna
Double, that's right.
So,
Double
like,
the time too. Yep.
Yeah, and it also depends on what monitor, television, you know, you play on that has the hertz to actually do the FPS. But, you know, he made a good point that, you know, it hasn't, you know, affected us thus far, but that's because PC, you know, and 120 standard hasn't been console standard yet. It was 30 that for a long time, then we got 60. Now we're finally at a balanced level across all platforms, but the problem is if people still want to play on an S, for example, or an X or an OG Xbox, and you go into next generation, I'm warning you, you're gonna get crushed. Because the other people will automatically adjust the next generation, have 120 FPS, and you're still doing 60 or 30. And then, you know, maybe there is a possibility of a software update, maybe, you know, the X could reach that level, but I doubt it because that's kind of why, you know, PS5 and the Scarlets are being released, because they
Right.
want to go hand in hand with, you know, xCloud and PC.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
man.
like, you know, they didn't, the guy didn't really understand how that worked, and I'm like, frames per second, you know, it's just like, and you know, the faster
What's
the
my
frame, you know,
objective?
the faster the image
Reaching your
appears,
destination.
so on and so forth. So if you're
And
playing a
where is
PvP
that?
match and
still a long
the
way to
person
go.
has a faster
You'll
frame rate than
understand
you.
more
This
when
is
we
also
get
a
there.
really big debate
I would prefer some more substance
among
to
the
your
PC
answers.
community as well. That's one reason that you see all the PC elitists argue, oh, I have a higher rig than you. And normally, if you have a higher rig than somebody, that means either, you know, you have better power, you have better frame rate, so on and so forth. But it's just like, you know, it's kind of annoying because it's really, you know, it's basically like a, you know, an alpha boast test. You know, oh, I have more money than you, or I have higher frames than you.
Right.
It don't really
It
matter
doesn't
if
have
you can-
nothing to do
if you-
with gaming.
It has nothing to do
It's
with
skill,
gaming or
it's
your
skill,
personal.
yeah.
It's skill. So if your body can react
have
that
extracted
fast,
raw
you have no
materials.
issue. I agree with you.
These
But-
are essential for crafting and
and this is the
upgrading,
but. Not
but you will
everybody can do
require
it.
much more.
And that's where, you know, as I said, rain fire and blood on all PvP from here on out, because that's exactly what you're gonna get. And then the other cool thing that I find very funny is you have PlayStation fans, and I actually noticed this a little while ago. You have PlayStation fans that have never actually met matches where people are sweaty, which is one of the biggest reasons why on YouTube right now, everybody that is complaining about COD at the moment, that's complaining about, oh, the matches are too sweaty, you know, crossplay, you know, keeps getting us crushed. I'm like, bro, like you've never actually played real players before. You've all played with casuals, because that's what PSN is. You know, that was the place that people wanted to go if they didn't want to play multiplayer games, because Sony wasn't into multiplayer PvP at the time. They did that later. So so the problem is they never actually met that community that all we do.
What am I picking up on the broadcast channel here?
Go into PvP
The
matches
Okar
and
are a
wreck house.
reptilian race
That's one of
with
the
a
reasons
tendency
the
towards
segregation
reactive
was there.
behavior. They are
all.
indigenous to the cluster,
Sony has
and the
more
colonials
story
uninvited
than
guests.
gaming. Xbox has
Distrust
more
runs deep.
gaming.
Yeah, well, that was also the main point. Is Sony's always been single player focused, and that's what I said on IG. I said, you know, we shouldn't explain to the consumer what each platform caters to, you know, in preferred playstyle, you know, or you know, arc that you as a gamer enjoy personally. So, like, if you like it,
makes it actually a little bit cooler. I personally
yeah, it is. But then, you know, wouldn't it also be awesome if you could just unify all platforms and no matter what you like, single player or multiplayer, everybody is connected? That's even better.
That's badass.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, you
But-
can't. Here's the thing: you have different levels. That would be just like, well, the way you're looking at it in a way would be like, well, why come everybody
More
just
credits.
can't be a professional gamer?
Yeah,
I just should be able to walk into a spot and
As long as we
join
don't
right
try
on
to
in,
merge
because it.
mobile and console cross-system servers and everything right now, I think we're fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Right, because-
it's not
because when you-
insane. It's not like I get
Right.
spawn killed every 5 seconds. You know, it's okay. It's
Well,
happening.
when you look
But
at it,
the
when you
same-
look at it, Reaper, it's already have spoken for itself, right? They've already done the numbers,
Yeah,
and all that. And PlayStation
I mean, you
fans
go
are
into
losing
any
at a -7%, a -7%, while the Xbox fans are winning at 82%. So it's quite clear that, you know, look, we can all sing Kumbaya, but there's levels to this stuff. Reaper's stupid.
Yeah, there is.
But there's levels. It's just the way it is. You can't. Just like a beginner, you can't expect a beginner to just jump in a game
No,
and just fit
no,
right
you
on.
can't.
It's
No,
just not
but-
gonna be that way. It's always gonna. It's always gonna.
But I don't need.
The
but we
levels
don't
will
need
separate
Giant
beginners.
themselves.
shipwrecks. What are they?
Yeah,
Colonial
but I don't
fleet
need- we don't
warships
need beginners who
overwhelmed
come
by
into a
Okar
match, try to
fighters
play a
during the
game,
war.
Get crushed and
You
be
will
like,
find
oh,
such
this is
wrecks
too hard, I
scattered
quit.
throughout the
I quit. No,
demilitarized
you
zone.
don't do
Well,
that
that's what we
because
got
if you wanna get better,
matchmaking
you
for.
have to. Yeah, exactly, and that's why you have, you know, you have skill-based matchmaking, and a lot of people
Right.
disagree with that. But at
Right.
the same time, it keeps everything even. So, you know,
Right.
if you have minors jump in that have never played video games before, hence Fortnite, you know, example, then
Right.
you know at least everything's a little bit more balanced
Outlaws.
because at least the minors
Independent
might be
operators with
playing
varying
mostly minors and the
affiliations,
adults playing with
profiting
mostly
from
adults that
trafficking,
actually know what they're
extortion,
doing. But
illegal
then the
weapons
issue becomes
trading,
is if you don't have that
piracy,
in place,
clone smuggling.
it's a
Maybe
total
they have
bloodbath,
something I
which is
need.
kind of funny. But I'm having a ball on that game. Like, I don't care that I suck, because I like that about the original Call of Duties when I was a kid.
Right,
was
when
the
you
fact that I was
learn,
the
you
one
learn through
PvP.
your losses.
So, yeah,
That's just like how Gears
yeah,
was. You
you
learn through your
learn.
losses.
You know,
The problem-
I enjoy
the problem
going
with it,
negative.
Reaper-
I don't like going positive all the time because that
Right.
just, you know, that kind
The
of
problem with
proves my
this
point.
the problem with this generation, man, and you see it a lot, is that they don't like to lose, and they don't understand that losing is just a part of gaming, man. You should the
Yeah.
losing should make you better. It makes you learn.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and I used to say this when I was younger. I'm like, look at every time you play a match. If you die, make sure you look at the kill
appears
cam
we
where
have
that
stumbled
person
upon
was.
an
Yeah,
outlaw
and
study
base.
where you die.
rinse,
Scavengers and
learn.
raiders of every
Study where you
degree
die.
ply the demilitarized zone using these hidden structures to launch operations.
You from
I would
below
advise
on the main
caution
floor.
on approach.
You then realize the guy
Maybe
is
it's
on the
worth
roof.
the
You
risk.
go around the map, take the sniper out, look exactly where that guy shot you, and kill him back.
Right.
Not that
because
hard.
You have to
1
just
+ 1
learn.
equals
You have
2.
to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, kids don't really want to do that, you know, hassle, which is why, you know, most people are like, oh, including adults now, like, they're like, oh, we just want to have fun when we play video games. And I agree with that on the kid's sentiment, but again, that's why Nintendo is there. You know, like,
right. Right, don't come to Xbox,
really,
but right, I got it.
Yeah, I don't need to explain this because, you know,
Right,
it's been,
good
you know,
point.
here for over 20 years. So it's
Good
like,
point.
but again, you have certain casuals that don't seem to understand that, you know, concept of how these
Right.
platforms are designed and have been designed from the very start of their, you know, of their birth. Because
Right.
each platform caters to different segments of society. You know?
Right. And how you
So,
want to
like,
play
you
your
have-
games.
So like Joker said, you know, single player, you know, they caters to single player games,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they have beautiful written story driven games.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nintendo has beautiful, you know, fantasy child, you know, imaginary, you know, whether it be Zelda, whether it be, you know,
Jump gates are the primary
Mario,
method of
whether
travel
it be, you know,
between systems.
Mario Kart, Super Smash
These
Bros.
were
You
built
name
by
it.
greedy
But
and
at the
brand
same time,
prospects for their
you
mining
have, you know,
drones to
different
reach
levels, as you
areas
said,
more
where,
efficiently.
you know, you have
Okay,
you know,
thanks
casuals,
for the introduction.
you know, the
You
moderate,
want me to
and then the
use this?
extreme. But the extremes
It is the only
have
way
always
to the
been
next
PC.
sector.
And then the
So,
moderates have always
yes.
been Xbox, and then the, you know, the wonderful fun boxes have always been PlayStation and Nintendo.
I think because PC has been around long to establish its own level of extreme to what it's got.
A key ship component is damaged. It is recommended you fix it before your next encounter.
Space rep. It's already
Yeah, facts.
You say
Yeah,
so.
facts. Yeah, facts. Yeah,
This
facts.
will enhance your weapon damage considerably.
Yeah, that's what I basically said to everybody on Facebook. I'm like, it has to catch up to the current standard.
I like the sound of that.
You're telling me right now. I'm listening to you talk and all that, and that's what I'm hearing.
I see you are improving.
Yeah, but like at
Getting
the same
the feel
time, I
of
mean, you
things.
gotta keep in mind like consoles like were, you know, developed after the, you know, the PC era. So because PCs came first, so at the same time, you know, consoles are just an encased computer. But it's, you know, it was a closed platform. That's not the case pretty soon,
Right.
because it's crossplay, which opens up the, you know, the world to actual, you know, multiple connections. So it's no longer closed platform anymore. It's connected to
I will
other
say
platforms.
right now, I did kind of call the eventual total merger of cross-platforming Monopoly, and I did not put a year on it yet. So when I finally think what year it will be, I will announce it somehow.
Yeah, well, we all knew when the online gaming was invented in the late 90s. We knew that was eventually going to be the future of gaming. We just didn't know how we were gonna get there.
Chessboards are out, man. Virtual chessboards.
Yeah, soon in the future we'll all look like Ready Player One.
Right.
If
I already have 3-dimension chess where it's like 3 different platforms and different levels. That's crazy.
yeah. But like at the same time, like you play games to, you know, learn, to adapt. I mean, like why were the RTSs originally invented? You know, to teach kids strategy on where, you know, if they couldn't play chess, at least you gave them, you know, whether Age of Empires to, you know, Halo Wars to StarCraft to, you know, so on and so. Yeah, you know, then the kids learn, you know, different tactical, you know, strategies, and it can apply to real life as well. But, you know, and then you had, you know, the FPS, and everybody actually doesn't remember that the computers were the ones that created that genre, and it was like revolutionary at the time, and it just keeps building and building and building.
You're talking about like the old, I think it was what, 30,
It was
32 or 16-bit kind of games. Like
yeah, like the Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. And actually, that was the first one, So
like left stepping, right stepping, forward stepping kind of thing. There was no.
Yeah.
That was some stuff. And Unreal 20
This
really
time.
kept up the.
Oh
This
yeah,
time I'll make it.
I loved that game as a child. That taught you the roughness of basically getting wrecked. So it's kind of funny.
There's a little funny story when it came to my introduction to Unreal. My cousin.
Yo, Joker, why don't you put your mic on, man? Put your mic on. If you're gonna talk to TV, put your mic on so they can hear you.
I will in a minute.
That's just what I need.
I will. All right. No, you good, man.
Yeah. So name is Bob, and my cousin Robert introduced it to me when I visited him once. Me, him, his daughter, and his daughter's boyfriend, who, this is a real older cousin, so he's been a generation or two ahead, and he's got his daughter my generation. And we're all four on different PCs, like the old time.
Right.
All of those PCs in his house in Florida, in different rooms, playing some Unreal, old-ass fucking OG Unreal tournament shit. Shooting each other up, getting the power-ups like it's Turok, running around. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, Turok on N64 was dope. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was. A classic.
And then,
definitely a classic, man.
Well, I think it really, like, because everybody, like, in the beginning, you know, as they basically rose to dominance, like, everybody was, like, enjoying, you know, playing against AI, but they're like, wouldn't it be awesome if we could play against other people online? You know, and then, you know, you had the... Well,
because you knew the tournaments existed because of the tournament shows, you know, and if it wasn't for Nintendo, when you think about it, the first major tournament game was Mario Brothers 3. It wasn't even like a fighting tournament game. It wasn't even like that. You remember the movie The Wizard? The Wizard was based off of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and like the fighting scene didn't really start until Mortal Kombat became like absolutely relevant, and then you know the fun.
Yeah, because.
Yeah.
Right, because Street Fighter.
That was actually Mortal Kombat that gave us that rating system. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. And
because like you know,
the rating for the fighting
and fatalities.
That's right.
Yeah, the fatalities blowing people's heads off. You know, blood and gore going everywhere.
Right.
But like you know, even with the rating system. Yeah, and like but then you have the current issue today where you know even with the ESRB ratings, like you still have you know controversy off every release. Oh, this is always going to offend somebody. We should either rate it M, teen. We shouldn't ship it in this country. We shouldn't allow it in this country. Oh, this country doesn't want it. This. I'm like, it's rated. It has a rating for a reason. Everybody like you know, I don't want to hear from parents that my kid was playing in an inappropriate game and he basically went nuts, and I'm like, well, what was the rating of the game? And they're like, oh, it was rated M, and I'm like, you do know that
means
mature, right?
Yeah.
Or the kids, like my kid went to his friend's house. His friend's allowed to play this game. My kid shouldn't be, and I don't know why his parents allow it. Well, maybe those parents have raised their child enough to be mature enough to play the game.
Right.
Yeah, true. I mean, and that's kind of the ideology I was raised with. Like, if you're mature enough to handle it, no issue. But then back in the day when you had the first of us, first communicating across the planet, you saw for the first time how ruthless everybody on this planet can be to you on voice, even if they don't speak the same language.
Reality savage. You could hear somebody speak Russian and only be speaking Spanish, and someone's gonna say one word that catches your ear, and it sounds too damn offensive, and you're gonna think they called you a word or
right.
Yeah.
There's no.
But like. And then the whole gaming addiction concept, like, we couldn't get that back in my day because the government just considered it all toys and stuff like that. They're like, you can't get addicted to a toy. That was good ideology until it became actual virtual reality. And then
where have they been all
it's culture now. It's not a toy, it's culture is what it is. So it's like like you can't get away from that issue no more. So you have to make up another excuse, which is practically what our government always does. They make another excuse every 10 to 20 years. But like but yeah, true. I mean, no one can tell me what I can and cannot play, or what I do and do not like. But at the same time, like, you have, these games are now getting so realistic. PTSD, guys, come on. Like, you're gonna have an issue eventually because you're starting to make it more and more.
What cracks me up is these people who get so emotionally attached to these characters. I mean, they go to sleep. They want to make love to these characters, man. They want to, they want to have a real relationship with these gaming characters. That's kind of weird stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the.
I recommend evasive moves.
Play these characters. I mean, they're really iconic people, but that must really get annoying after everybody thinking you're that character when in all reality your name is really Jen Taylor, or you really have John Barthenol, you know, this, you know, it's just like, or, you know, or
Right.
Kevin Hart, so on and so forth, you know, and it goes on in celebrity in Hollywood as well. I mean, you know, I hear, you know, I see on Instagram, you know, celebrities complaining about that issue all
We've
the
got
time, and
company.
even on, you know, talk shows and stuff, because a lot of people don't understand that it's all, you know, just pretend and acting. You know, it's the new form of, you know, it technically is it's a virtual play is what it is. That's exactly what it is. But at the same time, you know, I don't understand why, you know, why everybody has to be so sensitive about like everything they say. I'm like, it's just it's virtual. It can't hurt you. But then, as you know, history has gone on, we've learned that's not the case, and certain kids are sensitive to, you know, epileptic seizures by flash of light to, you know, everything from now, which is going to be the new problem that I predict is going to be that PTSD problem, because you finally got to that level of actual reaction time.
Yo, they are lighting me up.
Colonial warship.
Yeah, PTSD
Unusual
was,
since we are in the
is
demilitarized
the most
zone.
Realistic
Next
reaction
time, best avoid conflict. You don't
Yeah,
stand a
well,
chance.
I played that realism mode Joker. No joke. That like that's
Everspace,
almost
man.
as accurate
this
as you
game is
get.
a trip.
That's almost as accurate as you can get. But it's going to be dangerous for certain kids because they won't be able to do it.
Yeah, that's true. It's undeniable. It's gonna be hard to adjust. No, I mean they do have setting features already for most games, but I mean, how could they?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm only referring to if you wish to play it on the realistic mode. Like if you wish to play it on easy, yeah, people don't have a problem. But you know, it's like, you know, those hardcore modes where it like really tests your physique. Yeah, your kids are gonna have an issue with that.
I haven't thought of realism mode yet. I just kind of wandered for a second.
Yeah,
I feel
I love that
ready.
new Modern Warfare difficulty mode. Oh my god, I had too much fun. It's driving me insane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that dropped. When did that drop?
Last week.
Really?
Mhm.
I have not seen anything on my Facebook or anything about it yet. I just saw.
Yeah,
something
well,
on Xbox today.
yeah. Well, that was because it was last week, and you know, Infinity Ward was hyping up the release. But yeah, it was kind of fun because last weekend it was like, you know, virtual hell. That's why I did the video on Sunday.
I've been away from technology kind of for the last 24 hours.
Yeah, that's the other thing that a lot of well, now the generation after the millennials is all dopamine affected. So you have like a generation that legitimately needs to be in front of their televisions or their phones, which is why xCloud is such a good idea. You know, so like, you know, you kind of can't really fix generations now because we're all basically, you know, they're all basically wired by
We're
dopamine,
tied in.
which-
We're tied in now.
Yeah,
The generations are more mingled in now than they are separate.
Yeah. But like compared to, you know, where we started 25 years ago to now, like I say improvement physique supreme personally, you know, and it just keeps getting better and better. But at the same time, you know, as it gets better and better, it's going to get faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
Just everybody keep that in mind. And then eventually, because like I knew this like when I was a child, I'm like, I used to play with everybody, you know, that was in college level. So like everybody was at least good 15 to 20 years older than I was at the time.
Right.
And the funny thing is they were all basically a lot faster than me. So I learned very quickly as a child how to
Well,
adapt to
that
speed,
was dumb.
which is how I got
Didn't
so
you know
fast. But
all
at the same
units in
time,
the
it was
direct
like
vicinity will react negatively
these
if you
kids
attack
basically,
one?
you know, they were
I
like,
could see
you
that
know,
now,
they were about to
thanks.
go to college, they were about to graduate, get their bachelor's, masters, whatever, and they
Do
were
you
leaving,
reckon
you know, they were
there's
leaving gaming
anything salvageable on
forever.
this
So
freighter?
when I first started
Probably.
Xbox on the OG,
But I would not
you
advise
know,
it,
all my
as it may
original
draw
friends,
unwanted
besides the ones I
attention.
went to school with, they all basically graduated into the world. So I had to basically pick up a new section of a friends list because all my OG friends basically left me because they all basically had a life. So then 360 started, and then
Grady
boom,
and
you know,
Brunt
it's
have
like
broadcast
it's
an
been
emergency
one
signal.
smooth ride since then.
Sorry, I had no choice.
It is best not to make new enemies
But, you know,
unnecessarily.
it's kind of a, you know, a catch-22 moment because now, you know, you really understand. You really understand what you've been actually, you know, doing for the last 25 years. I mean, I sometimes forget how old I am, but that's kind of amusing. And I'm like, yeah, my first handheld was a Game Boy Color. That's how old I am.
I originally didn't even like Game Boys, man. I didn't even like them.
No, neither did I. But my parents wouldn't let me play consoles. So,
Right.
They needed like I.
Right.
And
jump
they're like, well,
suppressor is
we'll
active
give you a
nearby.
handheld. It's,
That's
you know, and
not
then you know
good.
you had the Game Boy Advance,
Well, do
you had the
something
NES,
about
you
it.
had the
Find it and
PSP,
disable it.
PSP Vita.
The higher the
where it
signal
kinda
strength,
ended.
the closer
And
you
then
are.
you had the the 3DS to the Switch now, which is like like that 3DS basically, you know, saved Nintendo's life. So I gotta
man.
give, you know,
It did.
I give that device credit.
Yeah, that was the that was the thing that kept them catapulting them, man. I mean, when you think about it right now, when you look at them sales, man, that's 750 million worldwide. That's including that DS, man. That DS, that's a gaming console. That's well, not a console, but it's a gaming device. So you got to count it.
Yeah, it's a
And
gaming
Nintendo.
What's this
Did their
mining
thing
outfit
with it,
I'm
man.
registering?
Well,
Greatly
I would say
improved
the 3DS and
prospects.
Pokemon.
Corporate Behemoth and sole legitimate
You know,
operator
it's
in the
like
demilitarized zone.
that Pokemon
Right.
sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, that's right, man.
All through there,
Their monopoly has ensured
its, you know,
unchecked
cycle.
expansion.
And you know,
You
and
will
that
encounter
and
their
then,
jump
this could be
gates and
another funny
mining
story.
drones
I was,
frequently.
I believe I was in first grade when Pokemon was first invented. Funny
Wow.
enough.
Wow.
So back in
Alright, I'm
so
back.
back in my
you
back
good,
in my
Joe.
day, we had to use our imaginations to have fun, not video games. Everybody, keep that in
Oh,
mind.
yeah,
So-
marbles were the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our imaginations was something else, man.
But you know, it's like, cause like I always had fun on the playground. You know, we would all play imaginary games, have a whole bunch of fun as kids. But then as soon as Pokemon, you know, the card game and the show came out, everybody just went absolutely cyborg, and I'm like, it's kind of screwed. They're like, oh, go play Pokemon. I'm like, no. Then Magic, then you know, all Yu-Gi-Oh, then
know,
yeah,
the
it
Pokemon,
just
man,
goes
that's
on.
crazy
It just,
stuff.
it just goes on and on through history. It's just kind of humorous. But like, you also got to keep in mind, video games is kind of a new niche compared to what, you know, this world has, you know, been through in terms of, you know, generation, you know, leaps in terms of
You know,
what
because
we like and dislike.
because they're finally getting their respect, man, and more people are not afraid to admit that they're gamers, man. At one point, you know, you just didn't admit
yeah.
to it.
No, you didn't
On to
admit
me.
to it because then you get shamed. It'd be like that Game of Thrones episode. You walk through the streets
Okay.
and just get shamed.
Boo, you play video games. I don't like you.
Very expressive.
Go play basketball, football, show that you're a real actual man, not sitting
Kick
in your
him in the
mother's
balls. Go punch him in the dick.
You know, but then as kids got better and better, and you know, you had
Better not
different
shoot
age
one
groups
thing.
come to the problem. That kind of like disappeared
Okay.
from society because now it wasn't as, you know, badly looked upon. I mean, people, you know, especially the baby boomers to, you know, Gen X's kind of still look at it that way, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's now culture. You can't get rid
Hey,
of it.
any of you guys ever
Especially-
play Everspace, man?
Ooh.
This game is crazy, bro. I shoot one
Is
little
it
I
thing,
told
man.
you so.
Yo, it's fun. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you gotta learn.
yeah, I
Like
told
they're
you so.
not
I think I've
teaching
got
you.
this
It's
figured
not
out.
showing you nothing, man. You gotta understand what's out here. Like I shot one little thing. Oh, all the aircrafts just came after me, bro. It's like, well, what do I not
Oh,
shoot? You know, I'm
shit.
like, I can't help it. I'm out here in space. I want to blow something up.
I'm loading up the Outer Worlds right now.
But when they come at you, man, it's so many. You can't fight them all.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny,
No,
though,
like,
man.
but yeah, I mean, like, it's insane to see, you know, how far, you know, this, you know, medium has come, you know, especially if you want to make Fortnite stadiums in New York. So it's like,
What?
yeah,
Excuse me?
yeah, yeah. I'm not joking either. It's kind of humorous. They want to make that.
I just tripped
they
on
wanna
that man or something. I got a concussion now.
No, but then you have a problem
Result.
with how many people could do it, which is why they're trying to debate whether they should do it or not, and they want to fund it, because now you have a lot of people like basically pointing out, you know, oh, you know, it's not really approved upon to become a sport because not everybody is fit to actually, you know, sit in front of a keyboard
Yeah.
with, you know, godlike, you know, Twitch
So
reflexes.
Microsoft made the
Reflexes.
special
Yeah.
controller. So
Yeah,
Microsoft
yeah,
made
well,
the
that-
special
one hit
controller.
everything.
Yup.
Yeah, and they made the special controller as well for, you know, those who, you know, are not,
That's right.
you know, as, you know, fit as regular people, which was a beautiful concept as well.
Yup.
Phil got mad praise for doing that for those kids.
Yeah,
Just,
no doubt.
just
man.
wait
That was
until
huge.
they actually get the Omni treadmills active for gamers. They've already got the vehicle seat thing going.
Oh, really?
They actually have Omni
Yeah.
treadmills in production in a company
Yeah.
somewhere. I cannot remember the YouTube video I watched, but I believe it's actually happening. I saw it working.
That's crazy. Man.
Yeah, like they have that all. They have those types of rigs all over.
I can't believe I
conventions
just
and
made a
stuff.
comeback.
Ooh. That shit
But
sounds
then-
so awesome.
But then, like, I don't really understand why everybody's like, why do you not want to be connected with everybody? That's kind of my annoyance. Like, why wouldn't you want to play with more people? Why wouldn't you want to meet more different individuals? I mean,
Well,
I mean,
maybe
I do.
sometimes you just want to slow down for a bit and go at your own pace. That's why.
Yeah, but
I mean,
then you just basically,
Well,
then you just sit in a, a party and
here's the
enjoy
thing.
your own, your
it's
own
not
fun.
right. It's not the fact that if you don't want to, why would you be mad for the possibilities? That's what gets me. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be in a community-based setting to play your games. You can sit on your couch and eat potato chips all day. But why get mad at us? But why get mad at something that's going to allow more people to play and interact? That's what I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand.
Yeah. Why stop the enjoyment for others?
Right.
Exactly.
But I personally think it's because people have gotten used to being in segregated communities for so many,
For
decades.
so many
they
years,
just don't.
man. That's
Yeah,
right.
they just
it's
don't
out
want
of
to
the
change.
comfort zone.
You have
Yup. It's
you
out
have
of
the
comfort zone.
2013 debacle all over again, but in a different form, which is also part of the problem.
Because I don't mind. I don't care that you want to be at peace playing your game by yourself or whatever. That's fine. But damn, bro.
Yeah.
To think that's the only
your
way people
time.
can enjoy gaming is crazy, man.
Nah.
I would be
You know how
bored.
long it took for me to get into the online scene? I'm not about to back out of it.
You know
yet.
what? That's right. It
No.
took, you know what? Same
My
here.
first,
Nah,
I think I
online-
didn't get
my
into
first
like
real
two.
online experience is
Right.
Halo Reach.
Wow, mine was Gears
Oh,
3.
really?
When I
Yeah.
finally got
Halo
into
Reach.
it,
My
was
first
Gears
ever
3.
online experience, and it was SWAT all the way.
wow. I'm talking
Literally
about.
nothing else but SWAT.
I'm talking about just staying in there. Like it wasn't my very first experience, but just staying in there, staying on live. You're right.
Oh yeah. If I recover if I recover my picture, I can't remember which device it's on. I have a picture. It's a picture I took from a phone I had at the time. Me and my brother split screening SWAT 360, 2 versus 4 Annihilation.
Oh,
We fucking whooped their asses. We had
Oh,
double
damn.
their score.
And you
I
had half
nearly
the
50.
people. And you
Yeah,
had half the people.
I had nearly 40. I think it was 40. I gotta check the score. Do not
Right.
count me on a number. I can be very wrong. But me and my brother totaled 50. Except for the 2 teammates who left, each had 1.
Wow.
I think my first one was one of those PC RTSs that allowed it. Was it Age of Empires? I think it was Age of Empires, to StarCraft, to Diablo 2, to
Nice.
Unreal Tournament, to Counter-Strike, to Halo 2. Yeah, Halo 2 was the the first time that I actually did have an actual online real experience besides my PC. And then there was also the years of RuneScape as well.
They've
Oh,
looked onto
dude.
me.
I forgot about RuneScape. Ironically
And I was there when
enough, you
I was
just saying
I was
that,
there when the
can remember
original was
my
there
email
too.
password.
So
Oh,
yeah.
They have original for mobile. They have original for
Yeah.
mobile. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my buddies that are visiting me are playing the new version practically every single day, and I'm like, wow, I'm looking at that, and I remember when that looked a lot crappier than it does now.
Oh yes, I miss it. I actually miss it. Come back, you little square shapes.
Right.
You go to pick up your shrimp, it's burnt. It's like.
I mean,
I don't need
which is also why everybody,
What?
everybody, including
Your life
myself, that
support
doesn't
system
really like
is still
those low
damaged.
quality games. I'm like,
I'm on it.
you have no idea what low quality really does look like. So please be thankful.
For real, please. Please, we went there for you to not go there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We played those horrible looking games as children, so one day the games would look beautiful in 4K to 8K. It's just like.
Right.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You're right,
And this
man.
was
Because
love
when you
it.
play this stuff,
This was also.
it wouldn't even.
This was
we
before
wouldn't be
480p
existing.
as
You're
well.
right.
And if I remember that, I am very old. So. But. No, but like it's it's been an adventure, really. It has.
Age is just a level.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a level, and the more and but then the other part is like the more games you play, which is the nice ideology that everybody promotes. The more games you play, the more you learn. The more people you play with, the more you
Strange.
learn. The more matches you go through.
Fragments
the more
of memories.
experience you become. But it's
Trying to
always
make
a
sense of
process,
them.
It takes time. I always get
I
mine.
had managed to
Like, oh,
escape.
how do I do that?
I was
How do
weak
get good?
and ill.
It's called rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
My cells were deteriorating. It's deadly poison, a cytotoxin.
I do not tell them that because then they get
Slow, relentless, eating me away.
No discouragement here. Just keep going. It's like 20 plus
There was a way to halt its progress,
how I learned
but it would take time.
like over 200.
All I could do was set the wheels in motion
Is it effective?
Yeah, it is very effective because
and await the
because
outcome in
because
stasis.
If you do something wrong and you realize how you did it wrong, you can
A long,
correct it the next
uncertain
time. You can't do
sleep.
it. It's the same. It's the same in it's the same in gaming. If you get shot or you lose a level, you realize right then and there how you lost the level. Go back, rinse and repeat, and do it better next time.
again.
And then it's just a cycle.
Dying.
This must be a memory from your original.
But
Apparently a flaw
nowadays,
in the
because
transference
everybody
protocol.
says that the new generation
The
is
eternal
instant
system was
gratification.
meant
They
to
don't want to
filter
wait to
such
get better. They want to get better now. That's not how real life works.
What are you saying?
No, sir.
My original?
How did you learn to,
A clone.
not tumble
Yes.
over every time you picked up a hammer?
Usually
as a
this is
kid?
not
You just kept
realized by
trying,
limited
and you
use
got
copies.
a little more muscle.
The
and
function
you
of
done.
Eternal was to pass on
Yeah, or you
operational
kept dropping
skills,
on your foot.
such as
You kept
piloting.
dropping on your
That-
foot. And
But
you
it
were
seems
on a
that
big
something has gone wrong here.
But at least you
Yeah, but-
started knowing what not to do.
Yeah, true. But I think it's always you always do something wrong before you learn how to do it right. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of life.
Like how many times did the
We
flash
do not
trip
have enough
before you
fuel on
stopped?
board for the next job.
Ah, better find
Or how
some.
many times did he have to tell to run before he actually run?
Oh man, that too. Thank you, CW.
Thank you, CWS. Now I don't really sympathize with the Batwoman concept right now, but it's not as horrific as they seem to make it feel. But at the
I
same
think
time,
it still fits in with the vibe too.
Yeah, it
That
does.
it's-
But I kind of feel that since Smallville basically birthed everybody, it's just like after Arrow hit like season 3, it kind of just went downhill from there, in my opinion. Because that Ra's al Ghul season was the last best one that I saw.
Yeah,
For a
I was still
demilitarized
iffy about
zone,
how they
this place
portrayed
sure
race.
sees a lot of action.
Yeah, I was
The
too. I didn't really
demilitarized
necessarily
zone
like
is the
it being
boundary
wrong
established
either.
between colonial and
annoying.
Okar claims
But I love-
after the
but
war.
I
I'm
love
so
that- I
used
love-
to.
Buffer zone is
a
intended to
specific
last until a
one
longer
that was
peace can be
animated, so, I
settled.
mean, that's what
Since
I
the
got. in
Okar
mind.
had prior claim, they
Yeah.
hold
I love
authority
that,
over the
that
zone.
sword scene though, where
The
he
treaty
just, like,
stipulates no
totally,
colonial
kicked
fleet
Oliver off
presence,
that cliff.
although there are
And then how
colonial
that was
mining
great.
interests at work in the
Rebirth
area.
the next
And
episode,
then,
which
of
was mad
course,
funny.
the outlaw elements.
Then
Of
you will be
course.
rich. Take my place and kill me. Let my daughter try to kick your ass though, because she wants to feel good about herself.
Let her marry you first.
Oh yeah,
And then
I
she can
forgot
kick your
about
ass.
that part. Sorry. I'm not a fortune teller. I killed him last week. He told me I was gonna die.
Put Sarah in the Lazarus pit and let God resurrect her, and then destroy the Lazarus pit so nobody can be resurrected again.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that actually? Are those actual characters y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah,
what's the
yes,
name of the
sir.
game? Because I'll just. What's the name of the?
That's a
the
show,
Joker may not
actually.
have his mic
we
on.
just
People are
switched
probably
it.
lost. They just hear Reaper. They probably don't
Is
know
it?
what the hell.
Is it not? Is it not?
Nah, I don't hear.
I have. It says my audio is included.
Oh, okay. Your audio's included. Okay, you're in. You're in.
Yes, it's got the checkbox.
Yeah, you're in.
All right, cool,
okay,
cool.
okay. People. All right. There's.
How did Grady and Brunt manage to get the only contract in the DMZ?
No, but yeah,
They
like,
were first on the scene
that was a
due to
really,
their extensive
good,
jump gate
turn in
infrastructure.
society when they,
So
Arrow
far as their
came out.
monopoly
I
is
love the
concerned,
Flash. The
their
Flash is
close
still going
working
strong.
relationship
I
with
say
the
that,
colonial fleet was undoubtedly
I
a
say that
factor.
series is probably
Yeah,
gonna
it is
last
still
a
going
lot
strong,
longer
yeah.
than Arrow.
They
Yeah.
taught me a lot about the old Flash series I didn't even knew existed.
Yeah, they even had the old Flash in the actual series too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That was the gravy on the cake. I don't know why I say cake. I was thinking mashed potatoes, but I ain't trying to be retarded. I'm focusing on literally 4 different things right now, so I will say random ass shit probably. My bad.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then, like and then you have the exclusive debacle, which is really starting to annoy everybody. Be like, why does everything have to be exclusive that you want to buy the system? I don't understand that concept of ideology. Back when I was a kid, if I wanted to play a video game, it just had to be, interesting to me to buy it. It wasn't, no identity. It was no identity politics mixed.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the games I ended up playing growing up, I got to play through friends before I ended up having like my own copy of a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we did it.
It was kind of a
Yeah,
taste
well,
the
that's also
cupcake
how-
before you buy the cake.
That's right.
Yeah, you also learn from your friends as well. So, if you have, somebody that you admire at school, or they can teach you something about a video game that you did not know, everybody learns off each other.
Like the jetpack cheat code for 007 GoldenEye. Hey.
Yep. Or those cheat codes for 007 Nightfire.
Enemies in
Oh
range.
yeah, that was a good one too. I actually got so far in that game before I had to leave his house.
And then the cheat codes for mercenaries as well.
Yes. I haven't gotten to play it, but I knew those cheat codes.
But that, and cheat codes invented before there was glitches as well.
True.
So, and then, then some glitches came hacks. So it's kind of interesting.
Exactly. And then eventual USB tools.
But that was also one of the biggest
I might
reasons
be
for
out of my
buying those
depth
game
here.
guides back in the
I
day.
could have told
Now,
you that.
practically us YouTube are your game guides, which is also kind of humorous in a way. But it's kind of funny because you bought those game guides for the cheat codes that were in the back.
No way. Yeah,
Yeah.
no way I'll live in it.
Yeah.
No way.
So it's like they're like, and back then that was your walkthrough back in the day. It wasn't, you didn't have online or YouTube for people to show you actually how to walk through the game. You actually had to read, actually how to do it. So you had to educate yourself how to do it.
Good beans.
But
Oh my gosh, I actually have to teach myself something.
oh my God, it's gonna be so hard.
Jinkies.
But it's all fun and games, and then you get sour people every once in a while. But it's just like, I feel you should just be enjoy this hobby just to have fun for yourself. Don't go off what other people tell you to have fun with, because in the end, your enjoyment is your enjoyment. And no one else can really change that.
Right. Yeah, do
I'm
the
starting
games you
to
want to
feel
do.
from friends' experiences and my own experiences for gamer rage.
Another opportunity to
honestly.
advance further.
It's really just more of a realizing how upset you are of your mistake before you can accept it and realize that it happened.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the parents back in the day, got really, edgy and scared when they hear, their, 4-year-old child, scream the F-bomb on, a Halo
Oh
match. They're like,
gosh,
yo,
yes.
you need
Yes.
therapy. Go see a doctor. I'm like, girl,
Good gracious.
she just got mad because I got killed and I
Right.
said the F-bomb. I'm like, really? You're gonna?
I'm sorry, it slipped out. It's usually that. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, man. Whoops.
But
I
then
just
you
died.
also have another issue now because the modern internet is in the world now. Thank God I graduated high school before that happened. But
Oh, that was close.
but at the same time, you have children connected on Facebook, IG, and now if they go to the same school as those people and they lose
Right.
in Fortnite, kids get beat up. I think that's
Right.
not stupid.
Right. Right.
I actually heard of a child getting bullied just for not having a cell phone.
Right.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Well, back
That
in
was
our
I
day, it
didn't
was
get
nothing
it.
for a kid to get bullied by just the clothes they wore, or you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
just stupid stuff
In my
like that.
day, if you had a phone at 13 or 14, you were
You was the man.
really lucky.
Yeah, you was the man.
Yeah.
Really lucky.
My first phone ever was a flip phone in 10th grade.
I mean, for real,
At least my stepdaddy was smart enough not to give me a phone until I was
Yeah,
past
no
ninth
doubt.
grade.
That's right.
I got lucky at 15 because then my parents were like, okay, since you actually have friends now, we'll give you some minutes
Well,
and
my
texting
parents,
privileges.
I think parents still today don't. Well, the newer generation parents do, but the old generation parents still don't consider virtual friends as real friends, which I think is completely dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
it is an actual IQ
Go
human
get your
being that you're talking
iPad.
to. Go out and do something. Go
get the
inside community. Go to the gym. Go meet people. I'm like, I don't need to go to the gym when I can legitly just play one match of Call of Duty and meet 10 different people.
Yeah.
True. True. And then maybe if they want to go to a gym, we can probably go get our laptops.
True, and then instead of doing a treadmill on an actual treadmill, you can do a treadmill inside the match, while all the other people are doing physical treadmills.
And then somebody turns on the treadmill
Wouldn't that
that
be
you're sitting
beautiful?
on to get your attention.
Right. then all of that, that false reality goes out the door. I love the switch technique though, man. That will wake you up. I've been a victim of the switch a lot of times.
But like, you know, I think, you know, society is changing and people just don't really want to change with it. But we warned everybody in 2013, if you do not do it this time, next time you will have no choice.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. They're not gonna keep waiting on people, man. You know, the thing is, they let it be known. They let you cry. They know this stuff, man. These are very smart companies. They know what to do. They're just putting a projection. Once they'll say something, you'll fuss about it, and then you'll support what you really actually fussed about, make them laugh, and then they come back 6-7 years down the road and implement the same idea that you was mad about 6 or 7 years ago, and you're fine, and you're okay with it now. They know these things.
But like, I mean, a lot of people would say that like the modern internet and video games are to blame for society's, you know, in-school bullying, in-school harassment,
there was
in-school
bullying
everything.
before
Like,
video games, man.
yeah, it's not electronics' fault, people. I mean, in fact, we made electronics available to stop doing that. That's the whole point.
What's
you know?
different now about bullying is that the nerds are bullying the jocks.
Yeah, which is the beautiful irony and the beautiful paradise that we now live in. So
Dude,
it's kind of fun.
Oh my god. Pushes up glasses. You don't play video games? What a nerd.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
You know,
I'm like, but you're faster
it's
than
the
me. And you're
geeks.
supposed to be
It's
the
the
jock
geeks
that
on
plays
social
sports,
media
right?
that have. It's the geeks on social media that got Photoshop and all that, tearing up people, getting people mad. They're bullying them on social media. They don't even have to touch them; just push buttons. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you only have to be you only have to be, you know,
Got
literally
blisters on their
correct,
thumbs.
You know, you just have to spell correctly, and that's kind of the new
Right.
that's kind of the new jab since, you know, you had, you know, social media invented. Oh, you can't spell correctly. Like, if you actually
Dude, I'm
knew like
texting.
the secret coding back in the
Right.
day, yeah,
I'm texting.
if you knew,
What the hell
if
you
you know
talking
how
about?
texting was
This
invented,
ain't English
you
class.
do know, like, you're. Yeah, this isn't
This is
English class.
texting.
This isn't high school. I don't, you know, and you're also not my employer, so I actually don't have
Right.
to speak correctly to you.
Right.
And if you notice our wonderful president, he does the same thing, and people
Right.
think it's odd. I'm like, no, it just means he can't be federally accused of what he said because he's, you know, part of it is spelled incorrectly, so it's not
Yeah.
accurate. But people
It's
still,
not accurate.
but people still understand what he said. But people still understand what he said.
Alright.
But they basically make a comedy show out of it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, man, because he's a comedian, man. He's a celebrity. You can't take somebody that don't take themselves seriously. I mean, the joke's on us right now with Donald Trump, man. The joke's on us, man. The beautiful thing, but the beautiful thing about it is he has advisors, he has a team. So when he starts getting too far away, that's what every president has, an advisor team. Because, dude, the president don't run everything. They're not that intelligent. There's people within his team that are more smarter than the president, and that's the point. Because you're only good at what you know, right? There's things that other people are good at. So you, as the president, you build your team. President Trump built his team. He built people around him that he feels are loyal to him, or, you know, he has confidence with them. So that's his team. So that's another thing that people get misconception about, is that he's just doing everything by himself. It's not true. He's got advisors. He's got all these decision makers. He's got the other house, the other repubs in the house that side with him. All kinds of stuff, man. He can't just. Our system isn't run based off of dictatorship, but it is ran off of corruption, though. That's one thing. It may not. We try to. What it is, man, is it's that bird poop method, right? The brown shit of bird poop is always underneath the white shit of bird poop. So the white stuff and the black stuff is still poop.
I mean, it is the White House. It is the White House.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
the White House. It's still poop, no matter how you look at it. I don't care if you're going for Dems. I don't care if you're going for Republicans or Independents. Whatever you're doing, you gotta realize that they're still working for the same government. The same government. It's different. You know, you might have a point if you was actually going for somebody that actually was working for a different government, but that's not the case. They're working for the same government. No entity is going to tear up the same establishment that it worked for. Think about that. You know, nobody's doing it. That's why you know, it's set up to fuss for about 8 years. That's as long as our system can last with just stupidity. After that, it has to get serious again. And it may go serious for 4 years, and then it's back to being stupid. Like, haven't y'all realized that every time a president runs, he's running on the same thing the last one did? The last one said, or if the last one didn't do it good, that's what he'll run on. And then it's the same. Because honestly, there's not
no
that much to
originality
fix.
Or, you know, thinking out.
Yeah, there's not that much.
Yeah, we're thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, there's not that. It's not that much to understand what we need to fix in our country. It's just not. You know, after 12 presidents, we should know what we need to do. You know, after 4, you know, we should know what we need to do. But you know, after 40 plus, we should know what we need to do as well. So. Exactly. After 40 plus, we still ain't getting it. Like, we're still having issues. Like, what's wrong? Like, we've had enough presidents to fail. We've had enough presidents to succeed. So you know what I'm saying? There's enough people in this country that we know what our issues are. We know what we need to do to get better. We don't have to have politicians for that. I think a lot of times we get caught up into the politician, and that's where it's at instead of the policies. Fight for the policy, not the person. The person is there because he got elected, but he only can have so much power. But if you fight for the policies, the good policies will never go anywhere. Because and then you know what? If you feel like you can't, like if you feel like the ones in the Senate and the ones in the House or whatever, or your president isn't listening to you, that's why we have state laws. That's why we have county laws. Go vote for your good mayor. People that you see every day, not the people that you see on TV, but people that you can see every day, or people that you went to school with is your mayor, or you may know him, or you may be a family member of him. You know that person. They're closer because they're in your vicinity. So if you change your vicinity, if we work from the inside, then good community spread. And before you know it, our country is just influenced off of good societies, because when one town is not doing good and they say, hey, look across that county, man, they sure got it together. When they go over there and start questioning, what's up? Well, we got our own banks over here. You know, we take care of our own small businesses over here. One of the great businesses, you know, that was the son of whatchamacallit, man. Really? Yeah, man, he came back and built a business over here. You know, the problem is everybody wants to leave where they're from and don't build where they're from. So there's no growth. There's no hope. When you make it and say, well, peace out, and everybody what good is that? To your people, where you come from, what good is that?
Yeah,
because you can leave it. I mean, if you come from a dirt place, you know, and you want to leave it, fine. But we got internet. We got stuff to where you don't actually have to be there to help out. You know, we got ways around this.
But I would argue, you know, after 40 plus presidents, if every president tries to improve what the last one did, they're not thinking outside the box. They're not thinking of new solutions. They're not thinking of a new way to actually improve instead of doing rinse and repeat, and it still doesn't work. I mean, after a couple times of rinse and repeat, if it's not effective, you should change your strategy. That's just common sense.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, and then we
all know our wonderful Trump. He doesn't have common sense.
Bro, that dude, man, he's a money-making machine, man. He's a money-making machine. So you just gotta understand
he's also
his
one
world.
of the original trolls as well.
That's
he's
right.
also one of the original trolls of this planet as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right, man.
And that's what you elected as president. But I find
that's why he went right to Twitter. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, he went right to Twitter because
that's where
he's not doing anything illegal, but people never
or
saw
nothing
how
unusual
this is done, so they think it's alien, so they think it's like illegal. I'm like, no. We've been doing this for years. Like, social media has been part of life for years. Like, people do talk this way, but it's only now that the news, you know, the news channels are now starting to pay attention to it. And they're like, oh my God, look at every tweet. I'm like, it's nothing new. He's been doing this for years. It's kind of funny.
It's just he's a president. He's not stopping what he does.
Yeah.
That's his entertainment.
Yeah, he's not stopping.
You understand something? Billionaires don't have a lot of friends, bro. They have a very boring life.
Reason for it too.
That's right.
Yeah, they do. But everybody wants to be their friend as well, so that's kind of funny.
There you go. There you go. Well, look, y'all. Hey, man, Reaper, you did good, bro. Hey, I enjoyed you, man. It's your show today. It's your show today, man. Just some good talks, good
Definitely.
conversations,
Me
man.
too.
Just good
It's nice
Xbox
meeting you.
conversation, good everything.
Yeah, nice meeting
We
you
put
too,
in
Joker.
59 minutes, man. 59 minutes in, strong. So, hey, man, Reaper, end it, man. Do your exit, bro. You did it, man. We had fun up in here with you, man, today.
All right. Well, I actually wouldn't have an issue going further, but I'm pretty sure everybody wants to use my television, so I do have to get up. But I want to thank everybody for all the current support, especially all my my wonderful female angels that have been joining me in flocks, which is mad fun as well. So we're having fun, and we're finally back to the original me, which is also very fun in and of itself. And the original me is a lot different than the me that you originally met, which is kind of what everybody's soon going to find out. But I'm pretty sure most of my IG platform already know that about me. It was fun because, my final kill on Twitter, and I started my IG page, and I legitly got a whole bunch of likes when I showed everybody how I trolled that entire, two-piece section. But now it's just kind of, it's just perfect, it's just personal fun to me now. It's just like, I do it every so often. It's, I try to post, a couple times a week, but I don't, I have a very busy life at the moment, so it's like, I gotta find the energy to actually put my artwork to actual, actual use and so on and so forth. And now I try to do, meaningful, messages and not, just, blatant, BS bullcrap, so.
Yeah, man.
I like, I enjoy my authentic artistic view rather than, the view that everybody wishes people to have.
Joker 420, man. You got anything to say? Any shout outs? Anything, man?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm not a streamer yet.
But you're chilling with us, man. You chilling with us. You home?
Yeah.
You home, baby. You home.
You guys got closers. I got nothing. Go ahead.
well, listen, man. Joker 420. I always appreciate him when we get on Gears, man, and do our thing. We usually go and do our thing with what is it, King of the Hill, Koth. We go online and do some quick matches. We do some team deathmatch or whatever. But he's always been a good comrade with me as far as I met him up on Gears 5, so he does his thing with me, man. So shout outs to him. Shout outs to TV, of course. No introduction with him. But this is the new legal, man. Y'all know where to find me at. If you like what we're about, please hit the subscribe button, man. We just doing all kinds of stuff, man. Whether it's gaming, I know y'all were tripping, wondering what the heck am I doing, man, dying on Everspace. Listen, I haven't put that much time in Everspace. I just decided, I told T-Reaper, look, I'm going to give me a game. I'm flying around. T-Reaper said, look, I want to talk for at least an hour or so. So I said, I'm going to get Everspace, man. I told him about it. He knew about it from the PC side of things. And I got in here, and I basically died all day. I mean, I'm going to get into it, learn about it. I'm going around here messing with other planes, bro, other spaceships, and just getting blown up. Like, you gotta understand, there's a culture side of this game. I'm gonna figure it out. It looks interesting. It's beautiful. It's a nice looking game. So I'm gonna get into more of it. But shout outs to Everspace, man. It looks good on the Xbox One X. And like I said, man, leave some comments below. If you're an Everspace fan, hey, I put this up for you. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I need to do. Whatever, man. Leave some comments down. Put some likes. Put some dislikes, man. You know how we get down over here on Di-RREC Gaming. So hey, y'all. Until next time, keep it gaming, keep it green. This has been Di-RREC Gaming, and we'll see y'all soon. We're out of here.